annual, right? Annual, biannual, semi, whatever, talent show. And it's nice to see all these new faces because we haven't done this in a very long time. So, let's get started with our first act, which is our deaconesses. Give them a round of applause. Who let the dogs out? Who, who.
Oh, dear. I need those of you, though. Both of you guys can. Beans them. Right down there. Yeah, sure. No.
Do we tell them what we're doing, or do we just start?
No, just start. Are they going to hear us? I can't see you guys when you do your actions, so if you're
Ready?
Me, you need to move over. You get us.
Hey, deaconesses, are we ready?
We're ready.
1, 2, 3, 4. New life. New life. New life. New life. Welcome to New Life Fellowship, where everyone here is courageous and hip. We like to learn and we like to laugh. We stick our necks out for God just like a giraffe. New life. New life. New life. New life. Pastor Tim, Heidi, and crew, they came here from Montana. Who knew? The spirit they bring is lights of fire and fills our hearts with God's desire. New life. New life. New life. New life. Some people call us crazy, some people call us odd. But one thing is for sure, we are all about God. So if you're in our town, make sure you stop and see New Life Fellowship. It is the place to be. New life. New life. New life. New life.
I could not read that. They got the words right up here. I think our deaconesses rock. Okay, next up is Pastor Tim. Pastor Tim, come on down. You're our next contestant or next participant. Do you need the mic?
Nope, I don't
Okay,
need
I'm
it.
just gonna.
You didn't know this about me. I can play a song on the guitar for you tonight. The song I learned back in high school, taught to me by my high school drama teacher, so I got to give the credit to Mr. McInerney. So it is the one and only song that I can play on the guitar. It's called Jailbreak. All right.
like an Elvis Presley jailhouse rock type of thing. Okay, next up is Margie, Cook, and Diesel. Let's big round of applause for Diesel.
Every morning, we get up, and I have my coffee, and Diesel patiently waiting. And before Diesel can have his breakfast, he has to sing. So we sing. Hey, now listen, we're gonna sing. You gonna sing with Mama? You wanna sing? No? Yeah, you see all the people. Yeah, you calm down. Okay, let's sing. Come here. All right. You ready? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You got frog in your throat. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's sing again. Hallelujah. 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 Yogi's our silent supporter. The only time Yogi barks or makes any noise is when he's snoring.
Who knew that out of a little dog, such great song could come? Thank you, Diesel. Okay, next up we have Kayleen. Kayleen Kofke. Trumpet? Okay, trumpet. And for those of you who don't know, and Kayleen, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's from the 1980s, and it's Europe's song, The Final Countdown. Do I know my 80s? Woohoo! Keela Kofke's up next. No, yes? Keela, 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 Keela. What are we gonna do? Are you gonna make the slide? going to make something.
So what do you make? Making slime? What do you use to make slime?
Do you want the mic?
Okay, so you're making slime, and what do you have here? Glue. You have glue. How much glue? A lot of glue.
8 ounces.
Who knew? Welcome to our house. All right.
But I'm in the bathroom.
I'd say that's enough glue. What else are you going to use in there?
Paint.
We've got paint, which has actually already been added a little bit. Or are you adding some more? You're going to add a little bit more. Oh.
Brown.
Brown paint. Yep, just regular paint that you can get at Walmart, little in the craft. It's an acrylic paint. And we're mixing it up now. So now we've gone from white glue to brown glue.
Some lotion.
We're going to add some lotion.
Baby lotion.
Baby lotion. Now what does the lotion do?
Make it stretchier.
It makes it stretchier. And also makes it smell good too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then this is a solution of water and what?
Borax.
Borax.
And it's also in contact lens solution.
And which you can also use contact lens solution if you don't have borax and water. Because
Or detergent.
or detergent, okay, so
You go a little at a time.
a little at a time. So you're kind of like, you're looking for that, the right consistency. Thickness. It's not there yet. So I need a little bit more. Okay, now we're just going to go for the dump. There we go. Perfect.
And I have model magic clay. So
Okay, and are you going to be adding the Model Magic clay to this?
this one. Yeah, I'm going to be adding it.
Oh, you're going to be adding that to that. Okay.
Aaron.
Okay, so how's...
Comments are for the end. And this is for Mrs. Grabowski.
Oh, this is a special present for Mrs. Grabowski.
It's not for you.
Is there a story behind this? Yes.
There is a story. She hates slime. Oh yeah.
Yes, so here's the story.
I know the story. I brought slime.
You're making slime, so I'm going to tell the story.
I bought slime in my
So-
and I came over.
They were invited for a sleepover to the Grabowskis, and Keela had just made a fresh batch of slime, and we had told the kids not to bring the slime over to their house, but it was already in Keela's backpack, so she brought it over, and then she got the slime out
It got
at Mrs. Grabowski's. And where did the slime end up?
on my t-shirt.
On your t-shirt?
Leaked in the bag.
It leaked in the bag.
It was like this wimpy container. That was like not good.
Yeah, it wasn't a good container, so we're gonna blame it on the container. And where else did the slime end up on?
It didn't go on the backpack. It just went on my t-shirt.
What is it? And there's more to this story.
I don't know.
Floor,
No.
carpet.
It didn't go on the carpet.
Oh yeah, in the bedroom upstairs. So whenever they go over to Mrs. Grabowski, she says bring a big container of slime.
We pranked her one time. We made edible Starburst slime.
And so then another time when they went over to Mrs. Grabowski's, we decided to prank her, and we made edible slime, which was made out of Starburst candies. And so they bring the slime out, and then they start eating it and kind of getting a reaction. Because you're envisioning glue and borax and everything else, and How are we doing? Are we getting there?
Getting there.
Getting there?
Getting a little bit there.
Do you need to add some more borax?
No,
You have enough?
it's coming.
It's coming along. All right, so what else do you need to do here? What? Oh, yes. It was a glitter slime. How many different kinds of slime do you make, Keela?
For that.
Have you made butter slime?
Yes.
So that's butter slime there.
That I added lotion to it, so it's
And you've made slime with glitter, and you've made slime with what else? What else have you put in there? Foam beads and, oh, that's right, yeah, you cut up straws. And,
like more like 50.
yes, it's approaching 15 pounds. Yes.
All the slime that you make, does it always stay or does it disappear kind of thing?
No, it just keeps adding to. One of those big plastic totes.
Oh yeah. Glasses slime.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you ever think about selling like glitter slime on eBay and generating?
I have made an Instagram, but I deleted it and I didn't want it anymore.
I suppose at some point in time, I might start selling it to recoup some of my own expenses. Either that or I need to buy stock in Elmer's glue. One of those two needs to happen. So how are we doing? That's...
You're needing it.
You gotta knead it. Okay, now see what's happened? See, it's kind of transformed.
No, it's not. It's not sticky.
But you know what though? Here's the funny thing, is that for the rest of us in, the older generation and everything, we had slime too, but we called it silly putty.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not cookie. Do you used to attach your silly putty to the buddies?
Yes.
Peel it off and they're...
Or you'd roll it into a ball and go, ping.
And done.
So there you go. There's your slime.
Haley named it Toffee
So what did you call it? Coffee?
Toffee Coffee.
Coffee toffee.
Coffee Coffee.
Toffee coffee. And the difference between the two, as far as how I was saying it, is coffee toffee. Come on, Dad. Okay, be normal. There you go. Good job, Keela and Kayleen.
Well, I think the STEM program is alive and well in the household, the Kofke household. They would be so proud. They would be so proud. Okay. Oh. The science, math, and science, technology, electronics, and math, STEM. Thank you, John. Okay, George, Cook is up. Yay, George. George, do you need the mic?
I have a wide array of things to talk about, so good thing you put me at the end, everybody else.
Oh, no, there's more people after you.
There is.
There is.
Boy. Hope you got time on your hands. I got started, we were down in Florida watching History Channel and the history of blues music, and the cigar box guitars were famous. Most poor people were loaded with blues rhythm and the feeling, and being able to compose that kind of music, but no real way of expressing it with an instrument. So they started manufacturing their own cigar box guitars. They made them out of cigar box guitars and 2-gallon oil cans. You know, I got a microphone. There we go. How's that? Better? Yeah. Okay, there we go. So they started manufacturing these instruments from cigar boxes and 2-gallon oil cans, and just some of them were single Bo Diddley had one of, it's just a single string is on it from an oil can, a regular 1 quart oil can. But anything that they could keep a beat going and a blues beat. So watching this whole thing, and I watched where they were making these new, and I didn't know anything about that kind of thing at all, that hobby or whatever was going on, but I was intrigued about it, and they said, for further information, if you want to know more about this, this is the book to get. So on the telephone, called Books A Million. I'm in Florida, right? Books A Million said we got one in stock. The rest is history. I read that thing I don't know how many times because I couldn't start building a guitar. I had a month or so to go before I got back home. But I started buying cigar boxes that looked good and made sense and seemed to me from what knowledge I have of stringed instruments that certain boxes are better. The all wood ones, them composite boxes are kind of tough to get a good sound out of. And then I find out that the wood boxes, they're making less and less and less of them because of the cost of the wood. So anyways, I get home and start building. First one I built, I don't have here. It's just it's marked where the frets are, but it's typically just a slide guitar. There's no real frets to play notes on. And then I've gone up from then. I've modified and changed the configuration. I've made, I don't know, probably 10 of these. I sold down in Florida. The following year I sold one. I sold them at Guitar Factory in West Seneca and stuff. But I have my own branding on them. It's Flat Lizard. You can see the thing I had the stickers made up that I put on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the various ones here, and then I'm going to show you the wide array of sound you can get out of a 3-stringed instrument or a 4-stringed instrument made out of cigar boxes, and also what you can make out of a 2x4, and also a sultry that I built in 2013. Now, I've also built dulcimers, but I sold every one I ever built, so I don't even have one. But when we were in Florida, Goodwill, of all places, had 2 brand new dulcimers. The strings are messed up on it. $7.50 a piece. I said, I'll take them both. That's what they had. So I brought them home, and I'm going to rehab them, and I got to work on the keys, but I'm going to have the dulcimers up and going. So that was the first instrument I built, was a dulcimer. So anyways, I'll explain each individual instrument as we go along. This one is a brick house cigar box guitar, a 3-string. It uses a maple neck with oh, help me out, it's a yellow wood, the spiny orange, Osage orange fretboard. I developed a jig to cut the frets because this is like I think it's a 22 3/4 inch scale. The scale, I can't hang on to this and talk about this at the same time. No, I have to go up here. I can't do 2 things at once. So the scale, I don't want to go too deep into this because I'm going to lose people here. But the scale on a guitar, they vary. The distance between here, the nut, and the bridge is the total length of the scale. The very center of the scale is where the 2 dots are. Okay, so a guitar to be absolutely in tune has to be the same tune here as also when you press this one down and what you play back here is the same. So that makes it very balanced all the way through. But, so I make these frets. I make a board that cuts them, and I hammer the frets in and dress the edges and make my own necks. That's a neck through. This one's all the way through. And that's when you get the most resonance, the most sound off. I don't know if you can hear that over that, but it's a good sound you get through it. I'll put that in the amp in a minute. But I've taken that and I shortened this up. My next one was to take this tailpiece off and put it in the inside and put in a regular steel guitar bridge. So it's adjustable in the back. But without going on too far, that was the first one. Not the first, but the second one. It's a 3-string. This is a, I can speak up, this is a 4-string. This one has a pickup, electronic pickup, that it sets, it's a disc, it's a piezo pickup, like a piezo buzzer, the little disc sets on this neck underneath here, And I have a graphic equalizer built into it, so I can adjust the tones and stuff that I want to put into this. This one has got the regular 4-string pickup on the top with your tone and volume controls here. Uses a steel bridge that can use on an electric guitar. And this is set very high off the playing deck. If you look at the neck, the string is very high because there's a bolt up here and there's this bridge back here. This one is closer, so you can play with fingers or a slide. This one is pretty much strictly a slide guitar. And you'll see some of that in just a minute. Let's see. This one here is a 2x4. Just a straight piece of 2x4 with a bolt there, an electric pickup on the guitar. And it's tuned in an open D tuning, so it's in tune now. It plays a tune. Every time you hit this, one of these fret markers on here, you go up. So if you're starting out as a D, this first one's an F, then you go to an F, G, G sharp, and then A sharp, and then B, C, and up down the line. So you don't, once you understand where all these are, you play chords to music, you follow something along. But it's just made out of a 2x4 and some strings and keys. This is the type of neck that goes to the cigar box. This is the very same brick house cigar box before it's worked, but what happens is you cut a slot in there, this would stick through, you cut a notch out, and it's got to set down in so the neck is set at the right height. But this is the neck, the frets aren't in there. It's just, it's cut for the frets, but it's not put in there yet. That's the name for that. Then I got an idea, I don't know where I got the idea, but I thought, what if you put 2 pie plates together? I wonder what kind of sound you'd get if you did pie plates. So this is a sink drain, and there's an eye bolt sitting in there. It's the same principle, the neck through, okay, so you get the most resonance in this. 2 pie plates bolted together. That's about it. Sounds like a banjo. But when you amplify it and you play it with a slide, then you go oriental. There we go. Okay, so that's what you got there. This is another pie plate. Now this is if you remember I talked about scale. If you look at that, the neck is longer. See, the neck's longer. This is a 2.5, I think 2.5 inch scale. This is over 24. And there's more frets to play here. And because of the strings, see how mellow it sounds like. Sounds a little mellow. And the strings are close, so you can actually pick this one and play this one like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit of each. I didn't particularly practice anything, so as I goof up, it's real time. I mean, I'm just playing out whatever comes along here. There you go. Okay, this is without a pedal. I'm not putting a pedal in. I have a pedal. I'll show you how that goes for playing. This one here. It's just a simple thing. You can play some serious stuff on it. So these, now this is an opportunity G, this is an A sharp G. So we know if you're playing a key of A, you want to play an A. You want to play a D, and a D. So if you play it. Now, that's played with just not even some distortion.
Hey, George, you want my headband? Want my headband?
So anyway, that's just what we're doing. Some idea of what you have with this. Now, you go up in sound and you go to the 4-string. The 4-string is a slide guitar. And this one here, you have a lot of different things you can do with the sound of this one. First of all, you can play this with just plain finish. I have what they call a looper, so I can lay tracks down and play over. So I can put in a bass sound if I want to put in a bass sound along the way. I can add your rhythm, and then you build over it and you play to it. So you have a whole harmony. But there's a put in a track. But you put that in, and once you get that done, you get this sound. This is that. Now, you put distortion in it. Whatever you want to do, that's fun with it. That's what fun it's all about, is building and having fun. So, that's a brief one on that one. Am I taking too long? Oh, okay. This is a 2x4. And this one here, let's sit down here, that's what they call it, lap steel. You know, so you can actually play it.